Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Ron, and today I'm going to be repotting and propagating my Philodendron Micans. So the reason why I'm deciding to repot and propagate this plant is because the leaves are not giving, okay? They're not giving me full, lush, healthy looking leaves. They're all coming out really small. Look at that, that's like less than 2 inches. The base of the plant is where all of the mature leaves are, and look at the difference in size, right? In addition to that, the internodal spacing is quite long. I think this is because it's technically wintertime right now, so naturally they are gonna give me smaller leaves, but in comparison to all my other plants are giving me regular, new, continuous growth. So I think this one is just really sensitive to the cold, actually. Part of the reason why I think it's giving me all of these small leaves is because of this pot. This is a very thick concrete pot. I mean, all my other plants are not in this kind of pots. They're more in like either nursery pots or terracotta pots. So I think like the sheer mass of the concrete is contributing to the cold factor. So I think it's holding on to a cooler temperature, which transfers to the plant's roots. And so as a result, I believe it's just not thriving. So I've had this plant for about 6 months, and despite all of this new, smaller growth, it has dropped a lot of leaves. It's been living in this macrame hanger, which I've had hanging off of my shelf behind me, right over here. I've had it like around this height, right under this bright grow light for almost half its life. And putting it next to the grow light, I thought it would give me lush, dark leaves and bigger leaves, but it's never done that. And then winter came, and then leaves started to turn like this color. In real life, it's more like a pinkish, like a medium pink with a hint of yellow. So I thought that was sun stress, and even though I thought it was kind of pretty, eventually those leaves would turn yellow, like this. And then it would just fall off. So in total, if I had to guess, it probably lost like 20, I don't know, no more than 20 leaves, maybe even less. Maybe I'm just exaggerating, but it just feels like that, So the soil mixture in here is my typical fluffy soil mix. It's got perlite, some orchid bark, I believe, and a lot of perlite. And I don't think the soil mix is bad. I think it's actually pretty good. It's just, I think that it's not able to thrive because it's in this pot that is making the plant too cold. So I'm gonna take it out of this pot and then move it into a basic white nursery pot. And then we'll see how that works. I do have some propagations of this plant already rooted, so you'll see me adding that to the pot. But I am gonna also be taking additional propagations from some of the longest vines in here, and hopefully several months from now, I'll be able to put them back into one pot. So stick around, and then I'll show you all of the steps along the way. And then hopefully by the end, we come out with a very pretty pot of Philodendron Micans. Now let's go in for the closer look. Okay, so here is the plant on my green potting mat, and I'm just gonna try to carefully remove the entire plant from this pot. I'm gonna try to use this tool here to kind of loosen it from the edges. Okay, that's what the pot looks like. Look at the roots. Okay, they still look really healthy actually. They're nice and white and fleshy and firm. So that's a really good sign. I actually was not ruling out root rot at all. But this is very satisfying to see that it's actually not dying on me. I mean, it's dropping leaves, but it's not like dying, because as we can see, the roots are still actually very healthy. So let me just continue cleaning off all of the excess soil. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make a new batch of soil. All right, so I'm gonna stop right there, but here's a close-up of all those roots. Now let's just toss the soil, and then let me show you the soil mix I'll be using. Okay, here is the mix. So in here, I have some regular potting soil, some sphagnum moss, cocoa bark, or cocoa chips, whatever you want to call it, charcoal, pumice, and worm castings. So let's give this a quick toss and hope that we made enough to fit into this white nursery pot. Okay, so this looks very nice and chunky. Next, I'm just gonna put a little bit more of the sphagnum towards the bottom, because I feel like the sphagnum almost acts like a filter to help the soil from spilling out from the bottom. And let's see how the plant fits into that. Not bad. But let me show you the previous propagations. So, oops. I believe I propagated this about, let's say, 2 months ago. So I've actually been really lazy. So I don't think I've switched out the water at all. I might have done it once. As you can see, I mean, there's still a lot of root development here. I don't know if each one rooted, but we're gonna find out quickly. So if we take them out one by one, this is the longest propagation here. Yeah, that has a pretty good amount of roots. So this one will go in, and I'm trying to place it in so that more of the roots are buried in the soil and not the actual stem, because I don't want that part to rot. Oh, all right, this one has yucky mold because it fell off of one of the nodes in there, and I didn't catch it in time, so it decided to rot. Okay, so this one does not have, this is probably the one that had the original leaf fall off and rot. Ironically, this is the one node that has the most leaf growth because it's got one unfurling right here. Can you see that? And then one more on the way. That very tip right there. So I'm gonna save this one for last because I don't wanna bury this whole thing in the soil. So I'm just gonna simply kind of like place it on top of the soil. So out of all those leaves, these are the only two that don't really have any root growth. So I'm gonna place them back into the water with the other propagations. Before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this dirty cup of water. Okay, nice and clean. I'm just gonna continue potting these guys up. I'm gonna try to be very careful because some of these roots are not very long. So my strategy is gonna be put a little bit more soil in the pot and then one by one put each leaf cutting in a circle around the mother plant. And then hopefully we come out with a cute looking plant. Well, this is what we came up with. At some point, all of the original leaf cuttings will turn yellow and fall off. That's just how nature goes. So I try to position the nodes to be more towards the center so that eventually when the new leaves start to sprout up from the soil, it'll result in a much fuller appearance, hopefully. Now I'm just gonna take some additional leaf cuttings and then putting those into the glass with some water. But before I do that, I almost forgot this final node. So this one, there was a spot where I didn't put any cuttings in. I think I'll just put it, I wanna be able to remember where I put it so that I can check the progress on its growth. So maybe right at the edge over here. Like that. Can you see her? Okay. Okay, so now I'm just gonna try to figure out what vine to take propagations from. I feel like I should probably take like a very large chunk because all of these leaves are very small. And if I don't cut them off, they're just gonna continue to have that small leaf appearance, right? So I think I'm just gonna take the cutting all the way from the last big leaf, which is probably this one right here. Don't really want to do that because it's gonna lose its like viney appearance, but this is only for the better. So I'm just gonna take the cutting right in the middle of the two nodes right here. Okay, there's one. This one is kind of like that last one, but I think I'm just gonna take a cutting. Okay, there's cutting number 2. And then this one definitely needs a propagation because up here there are 2, 3, 4 empty nodes where leaves fell off. So I just wanna take off that chunk and do away with those empty blank nothingness. Cut it off right here. So I don't want this. I don't even know if I want to propagate it. I'll just throw it into my propagation box, I think. Yeah. Okay, so this is what the rest of the plant looks like. It's not bad. Still looks quite healthy. I mean, not healthy because some of the leaves still look kind of on the yellow end of the spectrum, but it looks quite full still. This one still has bird poop, and I think that's from the leaf that came with the plant when I first got it. Yeah, hopefully in this new soil and in this new pot, it'll not freeze to death anymore and then give me new large leaves and healthy new growth. So let's put that one aside. And then we'll work with our propagations. So with these, I think I'm just gonna take all individual leaf cuttings and then, okay, so what troubles me is that these are very small nodes and this is a very deep cup. So I feel like this is not the right cup to use because if I fill it all the way to the top, that's too much water for it to be sitting in and that will quickly go bad. Don't know if I have actually I do have a smaller cup. Okay, so this one's better. See how shallow it is? Okay, so now I'm just gonna take like literally all individual leaf cuttings. Okay, so here's one example. This is what it looks like. So they're all gonna look like that and then sit in here. And then I will fill it up with water. Okay, so all in all, we have about 21 individual cuttings, including the 2 that I saved from the previous attempt. But before I continue, based on what I did before, I'm gonna now remove all of these existing sheets because as we saw, those eventually rotted. So let's help them by removing all of that because that excess rot is not going to be good. Okay, so here's an example. A before and after. See how much cleaner that looks? So I'm just going to be doing that to all of them here. Okay, so everyone is clean shaven now. I do have 3 cuttings here that have multiple nodes, and that's because these are the 3 top cuttings, and I just wanted to make sure that there was a node that did not have any leaf at the bottom. Those bottom nodes will be in water, and if there was a leaf there, then it has a potential to rot away. So now we'll just put them all in here and then put some water in it. Okay, it's done. So this is what it looks like. Look at how cute that looks, right? In a small cup. Looks very, very full. This could be like a gift for someone. Looks really cute. This one I will put maybe in the same spot I had it before, because it seemed to do well. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this one. So now we'll just wait and see what 2 more months of growth will look like on these. And then I will probably put this in a new pot and then just have 2 Philodendron Mican plants. Okay, so I put her back in her macrame hanger right here in the original spot that she was in when she was getting too much light. But now I think that because now she's in a new soil mix and a new pot, she's gonna make very good use of the very, very bright light up there, which is good because she's no longer gonna freeze to death and be cold and probably was holding on to too much moisture. So now she just needs to be watered, and I'm gonna be watering her with some plant tonic, which I put a couple of drops in this watering can. Okay, so she's nice and watered, and that wraps up this video. So hopefully she does really well in this new situation, and I'll probably do updates. If you want to keep up with those updates, then you can follow me at suchplants on Instagram. But that's about it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please do hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't yet already, plant scribe. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.